Shabbat Shalom. In the second week of April, we're going to celebrate the Lord's Passover. And this is a beautiful reminder that we were saved from the wrath of God, which was coming. Back then, it was coming on the land of Egypt, and everybody who wouldn't put a blood of the lamb, it was a lamb for each household was giving on the lentils or the doorposts. Because the final shutdown for Egypt was coming when the Lord told Moses, okay, the Pharaoh will let you go because every firstborn of the animal or people will die this night. But you have to sacrifice that Passover lamb, and the father of each family had to kill the lamb and apply the blood on to save their family, and they couldn't go out. But the heart of the Pharaoh was still hardened, even though in this Exodus saying again and again, the Lord hardened heart of the Pharaoh because it was hardened from the beginning, and almost in every chapter we see that his heart was hardened, and this is very important for the Passover which coming right now, that the hearts around those tables will not be hardened, and that we will understand what we were saved from, those plagues of Egypt, the plagues of Egypt, from our idols. Back then it was whatever idols of Egypt, but that we would see and ask the Lord to remove every idol from our hearts when we will sit around that table. Hearts, the idols of self-seeking, self-pity, maybe, just any other idols. Love of money, of course, and love of self. And America is big on self nowadays. That we will see that the Lord's wrath is still burning against any idolatry, against any fornication, against the nation which turn back on the Lord. But this is the Lord's Passover, and it's the way of grace is still open for us today. The Lord had to kill an animal in the Garden of Eden in order to cover the Adam and Eve with the skin of animals, to show that the way to Him is only through the blood, only through the blood.
Amen.
And this is the red line of the sacrificial lamb was we see through the Old Testament and going into the New Testament. We see with that with the story with Rahab when she has to put that red thread. We see that right here on the doorpost in lentils, blood had to be applied. We see when the template of heavenly was given to Moses, so he would simulate that on the earth, and it was only way to in the Lord's Holy of Holies was sprinkle of the blood. Sprinkle of the blood again and again. It was never chicken, it was always a lamb. It was sacrificial. The thousands of animals were sacrificed, and rivers of blood were floating because before the ultimate sacrifice was made, and sacrificial sacrifice was made when the Lord walked in the temple. His final sacrifice, he is the Son of God.
Amen.
Which was showing a picture as a sacrificial lamb when the knife was raised about Isaac, when Abraham was in obedience, was following the leading of the Lord, but then the Lamb was showing that a Lord will provide, and He did provide. And it is finished. Tetelestai, as it said on the tree. It is finished. This is the way of grace is open. We cannot come to the Lord by our all doings, our all good deeds. This is we cannot come as a sinful people, fallen people, flaky people. We cannot come to the living God of holy and holies. It's only through the blood of His Son. And this is was done. This is the way of grace is open. Then let us see. He is piercing. He's piercing. In that matzah, when we will look, He was nailed between two thieves, and one understood what was done for him. And in God's mercy, the Lord told me, today you will be with me in paradise. And this way of grace is still open. And I'm just praying for you today that you will be able to see, discern that. He is His sacrificial sacrifice which was made on the tree for you and me in that matzah. And that broken body and this broken matzah which will be between two matzahs, waiting to reappear at the end. This is right there in that Passover of the Lord, which we will celebrate. And I pray that you will have, that there's a stony heart around that table will be melted, and that you will receive a new heart, as a Nicodemus did, and as other Lydia did, and as a Joseph did. And I pray that it will be a way of deliverance and the day of deliverance for you. In Yeshua's name I pray.